Hey everybody, Curt Davis here with Real Estate Wealth Coaching, and we're going to be doing a video today talking about Zillow, how Zillow comes up with comps. Zillow is one of the most popular websites that investors out there use for data and research when they're looking at properties. So all of the home sales that Zillow shows on there, they are accurate sales. But what I think a lot of investors have a hard time with is how Zillow comes up with a comp. Now, what is a comp? Comp is short for comparable sales. It's basically the dollar amount or the value that Zillow places on a property to say, hey, here's what this home is potentially worth. So to prepare for this video, I actually put together my own little case study. So I've got my notes here. So I actually took my personal property. Now, this case study, just so you know, is I'm here in Memphis, Tennessee, so this is pertaining to my market. So my home, I estimate the value of my house to be somewhere around $650,000 to $675,000. Zillow says $628,000. Not too terribly far off. I have another house that's a rental not too far from where I live. I estimate the value to be around $300,000. If I were to sell it today, I'd list it for $300,000. Zillow said $288,000. That's still very close. I have a house in an area of Memphis called Cordova. I actually refinanced this one a few months ago, and the actual appraisal came in at $185,000. Zillow said $186,000. So on these three particular homes I have, the values were very close, in my opinion, as opposed to years past when you'd look at Zillow. These were very close. I think one of the reasons why the values were very close on this one, because on these three particular homes I used, they are in more retail, higher end, upper quality type areas where there are fewer foreclosure sales. There's a lot more retail activity happening, or retail meaning that home buyers are moving into these homes and purchasing them. So I think that's one of the reasons that the values were very close. Now, I also took 3 to 4 homes that we are selling and have sold in what we would consider investor type areas of Memphis. So we're actually in the process of selling a house on a street called Camelot here in Memphis. We sold it for $100,000. It has appraised for $100,000. It has not closed out yet. Zillow says its value is $81,000. Keep in mind, it has not closed. Zillow has not registered the sale yet. We sold a house in an area of Memphis in Raleigh. We sold it for $108,000. Zillow says $105,000. It is a registered sale that Zillow has recognized. We just closed a property in the Parkway Village area of Memphis for $105,000. Zillow estimates the value at $76,000. And it has not registered the sales yet. There's a little bit of lag time between when it actually closes and when Zillow registers it, just because of how the system works. Honestly though, even with that, it's still a little low in my opinion based on where this particular house is at. And the last one I'm going to tell you about, we sold a house in Raleigh, 38128, for $105,000. Zillow says $88,000. So I feel that in these lower priced areas, there's a little more, the values are kind of all over the place. And I think a lot of that is there's still a good bit of investor activity happening in I guess what we'd say these cheaper areas, the areas with a higher investor activity. There's a lot more fluctuation. You know, companies buy a property low, sell it high, coupled in with some retail sales, but it's still heavily investor driven. Other tools that investors use aside from Zillow that they can also look at and refer to are sites like Realtor.com and Redfin.com. The reality is that if you're trying to figure out an estimate of a value, it's probably somewhere in the average of these three websites when you kind of look at them. You know, in my line of work, a lot of times we like to go by what the appraiser has to say on the value, because when you're dealing with banks and the banks are actually hiring actual appraisers for their opinion of value, not sites like Zillow. And you know, Zillow can provide a lot of good resources and value for investors who are just getting started. It's like I said, I work with a lot of out-of-state clients, and the only source that they have to look up properties long distance here in Memphis is they use sites like Zillow. So, if you'd like to know more about evaluating property and investing in real estate, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We really appreciate you watching. We'd love it if you'd share this video with a friend. And thank you for watching. And if you found this information to be valuable, like and subscribe.